my lovely friends. This video is for all the teachers who plan to appear for the subject specialization exam for English in the month of June or the coming batches. I'm going to focus on methods of teaching English as a foreign language in this video. Hi there my lovely friends. This video is for all the teachers who are going to appear for TLS subject specialization exam for English, and this is part 2 of the video. I've already uploaded part 1 and we are going to discuss traditional approaches to methods of teaching English, and the methods that I've included in this video are grammar translation method. It's also called the GTM method, and the second one is the direct method, and then we have audiolingual method, and the last one is called TPR or total physical response. So let's get going. So the first method that we have to discuss today is the grammar translation method. It's also called the GTM method. I don't know if you're very familiar with it, but I was taught English with the help of this method because we were taught things in our native language and then we were told to translate it in English. So we could identify the similarities between our native language and this language, or the differences between our native language and the target language, and we would know that okay, this thing is called this in English and similarly this thing is called this in our native language. So we learned through translation. I remember that if I say mango, this is called this fruit is called mango in English, and similarly what is this fruit called in my native language, which is Urdu. So I learned a lot through this language because in the initial years language was taught to us with the help of grammar translation method, so I'm quite familiar with it. So what happens in that method, that a student is taught through native language. It's a blend of teaching students with the help of swapping between the native language and L2, which is your target language, so that the student can relate that okay, if mango is called this in my language, then mango is called mango in English language. So this is how you learned. Apple is called apple in English language, so this is what it is called in my native language. And then you proceed further to making sentences. For example, if I say today is Thursday, so what do I call it in my native language, and then I'll translate it accordingly into English. So let's review the technical definition. The grammar translation method is a method of teaching foreign languages derived from classical, something called method of teaching dead languages like Greek and Latin. In grammar translation classes, students learn grammatical rules and then apply those rules by translating sentences between the target language L2 and the native language L1. So the focus of this method was on the translation of text. Basically, this method used translation strategies, translation of text, grammar, and rote learning. Basically, it was too much dependent on rote learning of the rules of vocabulary. For example, if I say mango is called mango in English, but this is what it's called in my native language, so I'll be learning all the words, names of fruits, let's say mango, apple, banana, whatever, or I'm learning the names of the days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, in the target language, and this is what they are called in my native language. So I'll be learning both to remember that okay, this is what it's called in my native language and this is what it's called in the target language, that is Sunday is for example, I'll give you an example that Sunday is called Sunday in English and it's called something else in my native language. Monday is called Monday in English, whereas it's called another word for my native language. So this is how I'll draw a similarity, and I'll be learning with memorization, techniques like rote learning, to remember that what this word is called in my native language and what it's called in the target language. So basically, Latin and Greek were taught more as academic subjects rather than means of oral communication. That's why this method focuses a lot on teaching through written skills, basically through translation. But speaking part is not very practical when you teach people through grammar translation method, because your focus is a lot on writing. You write a lot with the help of translation, with the help of rote learning, and changing one language to another. You learn the techniques of learning the target language with the help of translation. So speaking part is ignored. That is the drawback or the downside of this method. So Next method that we have to discuss today is the direct method. And as you can see, you can tag this in your mind that direct method is quite practical. It's totally the opposite of the grammar translation method because you learn the language directly. I'll give you an example of the practicality of this method. When you teach people language directly, they pick it up intuitively, and it's more practical in terms of making the learners learn the second language. I'll give you an example that my daughters, they picked English as their first language in terms of the speaking like a native speaker, or picking up language and communicating with comfort and ease, because they used to watch a lot of videos on YouTube. So they learned through direct method. Language was absorbed by them directly, so they absorbed it so quickly, and it came as an output. They were ready to speak with very little effort. So this is what direct method is all about, and it depends on a lot on speaking. So let's see what natural method or direct method is all about. The direct method was the outcome of the reaction against the grammar translation method. Basically what happened, it was based on the assumption that the learners of foreign second language, they should directly think in English. Contrary to the previous method that we learned about, that was the grammar translation method, where they had to translate things first from their native language to the target language. People thought that language should be transferred directly. So this method is against the translation of written and oral and text, and focuses on telling the meanings of the word through action or demonstration directly, or real objects. So this method focuses on directly thinking, doing discussion and conversation in second language. So when you directly transfer the language, it's likely to be absorbed by the learner, and the output is a very quick learning or very quick form of language transfer. So let's see what our next method is all about. It's also called audiolingual method. This is also one of the traditional method of teaching. As you know, audio comes from listening and lingual is about language. So language is learned by listening. So there's a little background to it, that audiolingual method is also known as army method, because what happened after the outbreak of World War II, the army soldiers decided to be very proficient in the languages of their enemies. So what was the quickest way of learning it? They couldn't sit, they couldn't translate, and they couldn't learn a language from scratch with the help of direct method. So a new learning method was devised, which is known as audiolingual method. So this method is based on linguistic theory and behavioral psychology. The audiolingual method was widely used in 1950s and 60s, and in this method, the emphasis was not on the understanding of the words, but on acquisition of structures and patterns in common everyday languages. Let me give you an example of this. We live in an Arab culture, Arab society. So whenever I'm taking a class, I picked up a lot of Arabic, spoken Arabic phrases with the help of audiolingual method, because I see my students speaking to each other. I know which phrase is showing their anger, and certain phrases, although Arabic is not my native language, but I picked a lot of Arabic phrases. For example, shwe shwe means little little little. If they say, are you okay? So have you completed the work? Yes miss, shwe shwe. Or they want to talk to the teacher, they say, yeah miss, Bisura. So I know certain phrases, they want to hurry up, or when they're fighting with each other, and they also speak certain phrases. So we know which phrases are expressing their anger, and we also pick them up. Shukran, afwan, little phrases. Some Arabic has been picked up by me as well. So this is what audiolingual method is all about. So what are the basic techniques of the audiolingual method? You learn with the help of repetition. It focuses on teaching of the oral skills with accurate pronunciation, grammar, and the ability to respond quickly and accurately. This is the main objective of audiolingual method as well. Reading and writing skills may be taught, but they are dependent on oral skills. So the first preference is to be able to speak. This is quite a practical method when you want to teach speaking skills. For example, repetition or drilling can be a very good technique. The students repeat what the teacher says. Teacher, I want to buy some fruit. And students repeat after the teacher, I want to buy some fruit. You must have learned that you must have seen that this method is also used in initial years for the primary section, where students learn with the help of nursery rhymes when they repeat after the teacher. So they listen to the teacher and they repeat, and this is how they develop language skills. So what are just some techniques of the audiolingual method? It's the dialogue memorization or backward build-up or expansion drill or the repetition drill. This is very common. Teachers use it a lot. Or chain drill. Teachers also use it a lot. And there are many more. You can pause the video and you can further research about it. So the last method that we have to learn today is the total physical response or the TPR method. And what happens that you learn through full physical response, total physical response. Method is also known as TPR. You learn and perform the actions in class. For example, the teacher can say, I like to skip, she will skip, and the students will also do the action. I like to jump, the teacher might jump and students might repeat after her. I like to run about, she might do the running action and students might repeat after her. So this is very good for teaching in initial years or primary classes like KG1, KG2. Students learn a lot with the help of repetition or doing the action by repeating all these actions with the help of the teacher, of course. So the teacher gives the students instructions and the students follow those instructions by using full body response, the whole body response. That's what this method is all about. So according to Escher, TPR is based on the belief that human brain, it has a biological program of acquiring any natural language on earth, including the sign language of the deaf. So we can see this process if we observe the language learning process of an infant, because the communication between parents and the child of the consists of both verbal and physical aspects. When the child is not able to speak at the time, he or she is internalizing the language. This is the time when code breaking occurs, and after this process, the child becomes to be able to speak and produce language. Similarly, in TPR, a teacher repeats the process in the class. Students respond to the commands of the teacher, which acquire the physical movement. So, TPR is most used for beginners. It's also used for teaching students with dyslexia or related learning disabilities. So you must have seen that uh, teachers of the primary section, they use this method a lot by making them learn nursery rhymes with the help of gestures and actions, and they also make them use a lot of Play-Doh to make shapes. For example, I remember my daughter in primary section, she gets some homework that she has to draw, she has to make shapes, square, triangle, and rectangle with the help of the Play-Doh. She also used toothpicks to make shapes, 3D shapes. So their physical response is also included while learning. It's the hands-on experience which makes your children learn in a better way. Now let's check your knowledge of all the teaching methods that have been discussed in this video. There are some sample questions. Let's review our first question. Students learn English by translating to and from their native language. They memorize irregular verb forms by writing them down over and over. Speaking skills are not a main focus. So what are the options available? Let's have a look at them. Is it the communicative approach? Is it the audiolingual method? Or is it the grammar translation method? Firstly, you can cross out the option because I didn't discuss communicative approach in this video. So if you remember, I discussed these two methods in detail in the video, and you know what is audiolingual method all about. In audiolingual method, language transfer happens by directly listening to the short phrases in the language, in the target language, and you pick it up directly. I gave you an example of the Arabic culture as well, that I picked up a lot of Arabic phrases by listening to my students. And the grammar translation method. You drop your answer in the comment section below and I'm going to instantly answer. This is our first question. I'll be looking forward to your input. So our next question, question number 2 is, the teacher says, commands and acts them out. These are the keywords in the questions. The students try to perform the action. The teacher repeats by saying command without acting it out, and the students respond in the second step. So the roles are then reversed. So which method is this? Is it the DM method or the direct approach? Is it the TPM method, TPR method, the total physical response method, or is it the natural approach? So drop your answer in the comment section and I'm going to confirm it. I hope if you watch the video from the beginning till the end, you are able to make out your answer. And our third and the last question is, the students learn patterns of language by repeating model sentences that the teacher provides. They memorize set phrases and receive positive reinforcement from their teacher when they perform drills correctly. If you remember, I told you there is a particular method which uses the technique of repetition. Repeat after me. I told you to tag the picture in mind also, and drilling is the most common method with the help of which students learn. So is it the communicative approach, is it the audiolingual method, or is it the TPR method? So I'm sure you're able to figure out your answers. Drop them in the comment section below and I'm going to definitely confirm them. So that was all from my side. I've uploaded part 2 of this video as promised. I'm sure it's going to be very helpful for all of you who are going to appear for the subject specialization exam. I'll be waiting for your answers for the quiz questions that I've included at the end of this video. I wish you the very best of luck. Do let me know when you pass the exam. Till then, you take good care of yourselves and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.